Hey friends, welcome to One Little Coder. Are you used to seeing a plot like the one on the left hand side? So if you ever heard about ggplot, probably you would know that every ggplot almost looks like this. But in this video, I'm going to teach you how to make a ggplot first if you have never made a bar chart with ggplot. And if you have made a bar chart that looks like the one on the left hand side, I'm going to teach you how to make it more powerful and more aesthetically appealing like the one that is on the right hand side. You could probably disagree with the color options that I've selected, but the point here is to make something from that looks like very grayish monochromatic and not very appealing to the one on the right hand side where you can actually highlight a few things and then tell a powerful story. Let's get straight away into the lesson. What we are going to do here is we are going to pick a Kaggle dataset. So this Kaggle dataset is about crime in India. So let me quickly show you the data set and then we can probably get into it. So where is the data set? On a new tab, so you can see the data set. This data set does not have a lot of upvotes. This definitely require deserves a lot of upvotes. So first, if you look at it, so this data set has got a 3 folders, and the folder that we are going to focus on is victims of rape, and then in that we are going to look at only 2018. So if you want to see what is in the data set, you can actually quickly have a look at it here. So it has got a serial number, whether a state or union territory. So if you're not familiar with India, state is something a state government controls, and union territory is something the federal government controls. And name of the state or union territory, cases reported, and then a bunch of other columns. And then finally they have got one column where it is total victims, which is what we are going to focus in this video tutorial and the visualization. So let's quickly get started. So I'll link this data set in the description so you can also practice how to do it. So what you have to do is you have to click new notebook. So the first step is, once you reach this data set, click new notebook. After you click new notebook, you would get something like this. Most likely it would be Python, most likely. So when you see a Python notebook, go to the settings and then click here and then select R. So most likely you would get a Python notebook. So go to the settings after it comes like this and click click language and then click R. Then give a meaningful name for the notebook. So in this case, let's say crime in India, ggplot2 bar chart evolution. Okay, so yeah, this is the title that I've given. So once you are done with this, you can import the required packages. So what we are doing here is tidyverse is usually loaded. I'm also loading another package called Janitor. Janitor is what I'm using here to clean up the column names. So I'm using Janitor particularly for only one purpose, to clean up column names. So the next thing is I'm going to go to the data and then go to the 2018 data and copy the file path. After I copy it, I'm going to give the file path here. So I'm going to say read_csv, and inside this I'm going to paste the file path. Okay, done. So after I do this thing, so right now I have a data set. You can quickly look at the data set's glimpse. Let me put glimpse. Glimpse is if you're familiar with tidyverse universe, it would probably tell you number of rows you have got, number of columns you have got, and then the column names and then sample rows. So when you look at it, probably you might have noticed at this point that the column names are not very, let's say data friendly. So you've got space in it, you've got symbols in it, you've got uppercase, lowercase in it. So maybe that's not how we usually deal with. So what we can do is we need to clean up the names. So there are multiple ways to clean up these names, but one of my most preferred way to do is to use Janitor's clean names function. So I've saved the read CSV into rape_2018, and I'm going to I should probably give a different name, state 2018. Okay, state 2018, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use state 2018 clean names and return the output data into state 2018. And then I'm going to show you a glimpse. So now you can see the difference. So you can see everything is in smaller case. There is no space or there is no special character. So everything is underscore. So you can see that the name is more meaningful or easier for somebody who works in data to use, especially if you're using any programming tool like R or Python. So yeah, that's the thing. So now if we look at the head of the data set, so you can see there is a serial number, category, state of unitarity, and the same thing that we saw. So you can also see that these two values are categorical values, and everything else is double, and then you have got everything else is double, which is numeric. So our objective here is to take state. In this case, let me show you this. Yes, state, and then total victims, and then show what are the states, to be really honest, the worst states with the highest rape victims. So now the states that has highest rape victims, we are going to visualize it. So there are simple ways for us to start with the code. So let me show you the code first. What would I do? First, let me take state, and then I want to select only one of these two columns, which is state underscore ut underscore total victims, and probably I will zoom it in a little bit. Yeah, once we run this, you would see that you have got two columns at this point. You have got the state column, you have got the total victims column. Okay, and now out of this, if I'm arranging it by descending order, total victims, so you can see that okay, I didn't necessarily arrange it by total victims because I've got okay. So if you see, you can see the state with the highest total victims, and it just goes down and down and down, and then it ends up with 0, 2, 3. So I'm not saying this is a perfect data that I could get regarding India and crime. So I'm not here to validate the state, the data here, or I'm not also talking about don't go live in these states. I'm not saying any of those things. It's up to you. There are multiple factors that could be playing in also. So the state population, the awareness that people have to come and report a case. So there are a lot of factors that could play in, but still taking the data as it is, let us try to visualize the top so top 20 should be appropriate. So if I want top 20 from this, I can simply say head, like this. Easiest way to get top 20 is head of 20. So you can see at this point we start from Madhya Pradesh, then we end with Himachal Pradesh, and then we have got starting from 5,000 till 300 ish. So like you can see the difference, like there are like about what 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12, about 12 states with more than 1,000 cases in a year. There are other states as well. So let's visualize all these states. So usually what we do to visualize it, we want to make a ggplot bar chart. There are a couple of ways to do it, but what I would suggest you here is, if you are in a situation like I am in, you've got a categorical column, you've got a numeric column, and the categorical column is unique, so you don't have to do any summation or anything. So if your input data, the data that you have got at this point is in this shape, so all you have to do is use geom call. Do not use geom bar. I'm not going to go into the details of why you should use geom call instead of geom bar. The simplest thing is, if you use geom bar, so this state is equal to y, that is something that you would probably face an error. If you want to avoid this and fix it once for all, then simply use geom call. So let me quickly show you probably what is the error that you get if you use geom bar. So you would probably get an error saying, yeah, start count can have only an x or y aesthetic. So you would probably, this is quite a common error. Like the moment you go to Stack Overflow and then you paste it, you would probably see a lot of words. You probably like see one and of. So all you have to do is you have to add start is equal to identity, and then you would get the right result. So if I do this, then my aesthetic, where is it? I'm sorry, I've mentioned it here. If I run this thing, I got the answer. So but again, do not do this thing. So let us start with the geom call, and then I'll show you one by one what to do. So at this point our data looks like this. So the next step is, let's say we want to make a bar chart, so ggplot, and please note that as long as I'm within tidyverse pipeline, I'm going to use pipe, but once I enter the ggplot pipeline, I'm going to use plus. So this is something that's quite common in our people are familiar with. So yeah, ggplot geom bar, geom call in this case, what I'm suggesting is what I want to use for a bar chart or column chart. So ggplot is like, imagine like it's like your base platform, and then you start keep on adding layer by layer, and my geom call is the first layer that I'm adding here. So AES of, what is my x-axis? My x-axis is state underscore ut, and my y-axis is total underscore victims. And again, like if you're familiar with the basic ggplot, you can move on to the next section, which is how I'm changing the plot from the basic plot to something that looks better. But if you're not familiar with that, stick to it, will quickly go ahead. So if I do this at this point, if I run this, you can probably see what have I done. Okay, I'm not given white. This is what happens when I talk too much. Did I just make a mistake again? Total victims, x is equal to state. Okay, so if you're not familiar with the problem here, this is a problem, because the problem here is I've given these things inside code, which means like R is coming up with its own object name. So you are ideally supposed to give it without code. Yeah, so this is how the chart looks initially, maybe like not the chart that you want. So there are a couple of things that you have to do when you look at this chart. One, your x-axis labels are overlapped, so you can either change it to 60 degree, 90 degree, or my favorite option is to change the axis itself. Like you can do a coordinate flip the coordinate, so that you instead of a column chart, you have like a horizontal bar chart. So we are going to still use geom call, but we are going to make a horizontal bar chart instead of a vertical chart. So that will solve the problem of having a long x-axis label. So that's one thing. So the second thing that probably, okay, let me first fix that one by one, right? Why? The easiest way, yeah, again, the easiest way to do that is, if you're familiar with ggplot olden days, you might have used coordinate flip, but now all you have to do is flip your x and y axis. You would end up with a chart with a different coordinate, right? So you have a chart that is horizontal bar plot. So that's a good improvement from what we had before. So now our names are not overlapping, so we can clearly see. But still, I wouldn't like. Do you know what is the fifth most the state with the fifth most cases? No, like victims, I may not be able to say that just looking at this visualization. So the visualization doesn't serve its purpose. So what do I do now? So what I have to ideally do is I have to sort this bar based on the total victims. So total victims is a continuous variable based on which I want to sort this bars. So the way I want to do it is, there are multiple ways again to do the same thing, but the way I want to do it is, I'm going to mutate the column name, which is state ut, and I'm going to make it a factor. Please note that anytime you make a plot and your axis labels are converted into factor, unless it's a categorical. So if you have characters, so it is alphabetically ordered. That's why you would see like it is in reverse alphabetical order, right? The bottommost you've got A, Andhra Pradesh, and the topmost you've got W, which is West Bengal. So what I'm saying is, create a factor that's not alphabetical, but based on total victims. And let's run it and see what happens. Okay, that's a good improvement. So we are quite there. So once you have a chart like this thing, there are a few aesthetic improvements again we can do. Like one important thing is, so right now we have got all these things. Our axis is there, axis labels are there, we have bars, but we do not have, you know, things like title, subtitle, all those things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say labs is my function, labs of title is equal to, let's say 2018 rape victims in India. Top 20 states. I'll add a subtitle and I will say by total victim count. Okay, and you can add a caption just to say data source Kaggle crimes in India. Okay, so at this point we are going to probably display a chart with title, subtitle and a small caption. And then I think at this point we have got almost all the essential elements. But I would still say that there is one thing that is missing, which is label. So because we do not have a lot of columns, or I should say bars, having a label should be really helpful. And the way label against the bars, and the way we can add label is, the easiest way to add label is use geom label. So geom label, the aesthetic stays same. The only change that probably you would do is add a label column, sorry, label parameter. And the label parameter, what do you want to display is what label is. I want to display the total victims. And when you run it, at this point we would probably have something like what we showed at the left hand side. So now we have got a plot that tells the message. The message here is, you see the total like top 20 states, 2000 based like for 2018 rape victims in India by total victim count. You see like Madhya Pradesh is at the top, Rajasthan, UP, other, you know, the top 3. So what do we do next? So what my promise at the start of this video is, I'm going to show you how you can make that look something like this, you know, like quite themed, that can convey a powerful story. So like I don't say that that chart was not good, but I think for what we are trying to convey, which is crime, having a strong color like this with a dark background, I feel like probably tells the message slightly in a better fashion than what we were showing before. And I think it should also help people take away the strong message that we are trying to convey. So let's go ahead and then start making that plot that would look like this. So the first thing that we want to do is install .packages ggthemes. So ggthemes is a package that has got a lot of themes. So by default, ggplot has a very few themes. There are nice themes. I'm not saying there are not nice themes, but if you want to make some theme, if you want to, like, if you're inspired by some theme, let's say 538 or a Economist or a Financial Times or like Google Sheet, Excel, so ggthemes have got themes for you. All these themes, like whatever I just mentioned, it is pre-built, available within ggthemes, and then you can start using it right away. So first install it. If you're using Kaggle notebook like me, the simplest way to install a package is use install.packages of the package name. So that will install the package. You can see I've successfully installed the package. So the next thing I can probably do is go to my go here and then, you know, be a nice guy and then call the package. Maybe I will not call the package there, because if somebody is going to use the notebook, then it might become difficult for them to debug the issue. So after install.packages, let's say I've done install.packages. Okay. let's say now call library ggthemes and load the package. I mean, you don't have to necessarily do that, but if you do that, it's actually quite helpful. So the next thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the code that we just built. This is the code that we just built, and we will start improving from there. So let me copy this code and go back to the bottommost cell and then save it and run it and see like whether it looks like exactly like what we did before. Okay, so this is what it is. So now what we are going to do is we are going to say add a theme, which is to say theme, and the theme that I want is theme HC. Theme HC stands for theme high charter. So high charter is a very popular package, and you can see that it has already changed. But what we want here is we want a dark theme. So I'm interested in a dark theme. So I'm going to say style. Okay, let me show you a different theme maybe before we move into that event. So I can say theme Excel. Then I can run it. You can see like how Excel based theme would look here in this case. This is what they're calling it as Excel based theme. Or I can even say theme 538 if you are familiar with the popular website that Nate Silver started. So theme 538. So you can look at, you know, like this almost looks like a newspaperish theme. So what we are interested in is a dark theme, so that we can have dark like powerful strong red color at the front. So theme HC, and then I'm going to say style is equal to dark Unica, and then let's run it. As with every dark theme, oh, what happened? Okay, that's again a very silly mistake when I'm doing a screencasting. Okay, I just missed equal to sign. Dark Unica. So you can see the dark theme works very well, except the fact that like everything is black right now. So maybe it doesn't make much sense, right? Like nobody would know even the state names. So what I want to do is now I want to change the axis. So I'm going to add a custom theme, which is to say axis text dot x is equal to, let me just quickly check this. Yep, element underscore text of color is equal to red. Now let's run it. I'm trying to change the text color. You can see that the x-axis has changed. So let's do the same thing for y-axis. Okay, that's good. So we have got one improvement, which is the axis colors are changed, or axis text. Let's change this one that you see the label to something like orange or yellow. So let me fill it with yellow. You can use hex color RGB hex, or you can use something. So this is again good. Then let's add a label, fill here as well, to say I want a red color here. Yeah, so ultimately now what you can see is you can see a theme that has dark theme, and in the front you are adding a text, and then the text is something like, you know, like it's red, and then it has the labels are in yellow color. You can actually see what the labels say here, and then you can also see the text on the left hand side and also the axis below, and you can pretty much see the plot, and then you can start understanding, you know, the message that we are trying to convey is quite powerful here, so you can see this. And probably, like, let's say, like, you want to say if the axis, like if a particular state or more than a particular count, like if you want to change a different color, again you can use if else condition within this fill, and then you can change that. But again, like for now you can simply use this. Like the easiest way if you want to do that is, let me show you. Just yeah, for now let me even leave it here, stop it here. It's already 25 minutes, so I don't want to further take this video. So like if you want to have selected colors, conditional colors, you can add if else here, and then you can have conditional colors. You can do annotation if you want. You can remove the grid lines if you want. If you want a different theme, you can experiment and see like how does it look if I have a different theme. For example, instead of this, if I have economist, I should probably not edit it. Let me comment it and say theme economist, save it and run it. Yeah, this is how it looks. Again, not a bad theme. Message is strong red color. You have title, all these things. So that takes us to the end of the video. So in this video we saw how to how first of all, our objective is to take a normal ggplot bar chart and then make it something that looks like this, or something with the dark mode. Then we went to Kaggle dataset, and then we looked at the crimes in India dataset. We learned how to make a simple bar chart, a couple of nuances I took you through there. And then we also saw how to add a theme, how to change the axis colors, and then finally get something that can be strong, aligned with the theme that we are trying to show. So I hope this video was helpful to you, and if you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section. I will link this notebook also in the description. I will also link the dataset link in the description, YouTube description. So if you like the dataset, somebody has actually put effort. So I think the person's name is, let me quickly check. Neha Prabhavalkar. So thanks Neha for taking effort in putting together this data set. I think it's definitely a good data set for anyone who wants to understand or analyze this crime situation in India. And it's such a shame that we have got a lot of cases, but again, like somebody who works in data, I think we can at least start highlighting these facts to the public. People can understand what's happening in the country. So thank you so much for listening to me. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section. Otherwise, please give a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not. Take care of yourself. Happy coding.